Hey guys, it's Coach Jensen back in the kitchen for another episode of Coach's Kitchen. So today I'm going to be making a high protein sandwich with some fried potatoes. And this might be considered like a breakfast sandwich, but I don't really believe in labeling foods like that. I think you can eat whatever you want anytime throughout the day, and it shouldn't have to be a certain time frame, all right? But this is what most people would probably consider to be a breakfast sandwich, although I'm going to be eating it for dinner tonight. I'm going to go over all the ingredients in just a minute. And just keep in mind, this is the way I like to make my sandwich, but you don't have to do it the same way. So I don't really believe in following strict recipes. I believe more in just kind of using what you have at home and trying to create something out of it. All right. So if you don't have the exact same ingredients as me, don't think, oh man, I can't make this sandwich. All right. But whatever substitutions you want to make, whatever suits your flavor palette, and whatever you have around the house that's handy, go ahead and try it out. So the first thing you'll need is some sort of bread, all right? And I've got a cinnamon raisin bagel here. This is from Dave's Killer Bread. This is a really healthy bread brand that I love a lot. And this is actually going to give some sweetness. So I'm going to be doing like a little sweet and savory contrast for my sandwich here tonight. And then for my meat, I've got some chicken. I believe this is, the Boar's Head EverRoast chicken. I've got some sandwich style pepperoni. I'm going to be putting some eggs in there. I've got some cheese, the Dubliner by Kerrygold. I've got some potatoes. I'm just going to use one of these potatoes, but I've got like those nice golden potatoes there. All right. And then I've got some cilantro and some spinach. You also are going to need a little bit of butter and preferably some seasonings. I'll probably use some salt, pepper, and Italian seasoning. All right, guys. So anytime you're cooking a meal that has multiple parts, the timing is always really important. Okay, so one mistake that beginners make sometimes in the kitchen is that they get the timing messed up. Like they start with something that doesn't take very long, and they save something that's more time consuming for later. So whatever is going to take the longest for you to cook is what you want to get started the first. Okay, so for me that's probably going to be my potatoes. So I'm going to show you how I prepare the potato and how I get this going here. Alright guys, so with this potato, the way that I like to cut my potatoes is I'll do what's called dicing them, alright? Some of you might know what this means already, but I figure that it might be nice for some people to learn too if you don't have the skill yet, okay? So if you want to fast forward this part, go ahead. And if you want to learn how to do this, follow along, alright? So I'm going to take my potato, hold it nice and steady, make sure all my fingers and thumbs are out of the way and everything, alright? And I'm just going to cut nice little piece off there, okay? So somewhat thin, and you can do these however thick or however thin you want. There is really no like right or wrong width here, okay? But it's just about how fast it'll cook. So the smaller the pieces are, the faster that potato is going to cook. The larger the pieces are, the longer it's going to take to cook. Okay, so I want to just keep them as consistent as possible. Okay, because that means they're going to take the same amount. Okay, if I have like a really big piece and a really small piece, okay, then the little piece is obviously going to get done faster. But you can see I've got it sliced pretty evenly there. Okay, and then I'm going to take about 3 of those little sections, okay, and I'm just going to make cuts this way, also doing it evenly. I'm going to turn that, and then I'm going to cut the opposite way. Okay, and now you can see I've got these nice small little chunks, okay, that are all pretty close to the same in size. All right, there's some that are bigger, some that are smaller. All right, but those are going to fry up really nice in the pan for me. All right. All right, guys, so the potato is a really starchy vegetable. So you're going to want to put it in some water, okay? And you'll see that that water is already getting a little bit like thick and murky. That's just some of the starch like coming off those potatoes there. So you want to give them a nice rinse. You can even let them soak in some salt water if you want to. It's not necessary, but it does help sometimes. And then I'll want to strain those out, get all that water completely off of there, and then I'll be ready to start cooking that potato. All right, guys, the next step is to get my eggs ready. So I've got these 2 eggs today. All right, we've got 2 large brown pasture raised eggs. You can use any kind of eggs that you have around home. All right, but just keep in mind that if they are pasture raised, it's a lot better than like the factory farmed animals. It's way better for the animal, and you get a better like nutritional breakdown from it too. All right, so I'm gonna crack it. Now, when you crack it, you don't want to hit it really soft and do a bunch of little taps. All right, you want to have one nice firm, like clean hit that cracks the whole thing. Okay, and hopefully you don't get any pieces of shell in there. So I'm gonna do a nice little pop. Break that shell apart, boom, and it goes right in. Okay, nice, pretty clean one there. All right, second one, nice and firm. Boom, that one just busted right open. All right, and now I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of crushed red pepper, some salt, and some black pepper. Oop, not that side. Okay. And you can put as much or as little as you want in there. And then you can take like a spoon or a fork. I like to use a small fork. And then we just kind of whip it up, break those yolks, and get it into a nice like smooth consistency. And I like to do this before I start cooking anything because it's kind of a pain. So I like to just have these ready and then put them off to the side. And then I'm going to start cooking my potatoes and then getting the bagel ready to cook here too. All right, so now I've got two just regular sized non-stick pans ready. I'm going to go ahead and do my potatoes in this one. So I'm going to fill it up with a little bit of oil there. And you already know I'm using the best avocado oil only. All right, I got that ready to go. And then this other one, I'll use for the bagel and for the eggs. You could get 3 pans out, but it's just gonna create more dishes, so I'll just double up the use on those. All right, I've got my bagel ready. So I just spread some ghee on there, some grass-fed ghee. You can use any kind of butter you want. Some people even use like mayonnaise when they're frying bread. Honestly, I think mayonnaise is disgusting, but any kind of butter or whatever you have around should work. All right, guys, once that oil is hot, I'm gonna go ahead and add my potatoes. So you can tell when it's hot, you put like a little drop of water in there. If it starts popping up like that, then you know it's ready to go. Because water and oil don't really mix together very well. All right, so I'm gonna put my potatoes in. And you wanna hear a nice sizzle like that when you put them in the pan. I've got to turn not all the way up, but pretty close to all the way up on the heat here. I'm just gonna move these around. Make sure they all get covered by the oil. They're evenly distributed. Okay, make sure they're just touching the bottom as much as possible. And then you definitely want to keep an eye on those. Shake them around, stir them. You want as many different sides of that potato to touch the pan as possible. So I put a little seasoning on there, some crushed red pepper, some salt, black pepper, and rosemary. Let me tell you guys, pro tip, the rosemary is a game changer, man. Put rosemary in your fried potatoes. You guys will thank me next time. All right, guys, I'm going to chop up a little bit of cilantro. So I did rinse this off earlier. You always want to rinse it just to make sure there's nothing on there, no dirt, or you never know what's on there, man. Sometimes you hear all the stuff about pesticides and all that, so it's always best to just rinse it off. But I'm going to go ahead and just chop it. Okay. Doesn't really matter the technique too much. Okay, just get a lot of nice little cuts on there, get it as small as possible. And then I'm going to wait till my potatoes are closer to being done and then kind of throw this in at the end as well as some spinach. Alright, and that should be good there. Alright guys, so I added some spinach to my potatoes. And as you guys know, it starts off big and then gets a little smaller. It was covering up like the whole pan there. And now it's down quite a bit. All right, so my potatoes are getting close to done. They're still not there yet. I want them to have a little more golden brown. I put the bottom side of my bagel down, and that's getting there, just about done. And I'm gonna cook the bagel before the eggs. That way my bagel's done, and when these other items start coming off, I have something to put them on and start building out my sandwich. All right, guys, so I pulled off my bagel, got that ready to go. And now I've got my meat on there. So I just used 4 pieces of pepperoni, 4 pieces of chicken. And that stuff doesn't take long at all. It's already pre-cooked, so you're kind of just heating it up, putting a little color on it. I'm gonna go ahead and flip that over. And then I've got my potatoes and spinach still rocking. All right, so I stacked up my meat on top there. Cut off a little cheese, put on the top and the bottom. Still got my avocado that I'm gonna add at the end. Just heating that pan back up for my scrambled eggs. And my potatoes and spinach and cilantro are done. Okay, so I turned that off. I'm just gonna let them rest in the pan for a little bit. All right, so I've got my scrambled eggs in the pan here. Pan's pretty hot, so they're going quick since I already cooked my meat and my bagel on it. And you just kind of mix those up, make sure they're done all the way through. Basically, you just want all the liquid to be out of there. So right about now, those puppies are done. All right, I've got my potatoes plated. Got the eggs on the sandwich there, got the meat ready. Last thing I'm gonna do is just slice up my avocado and throw that bad boy on this. All right, so there's a few different ways to do this. The way that I like to do it is just take a knife, cut all around, and you kind of push in until you can feel that seed or that pit in the middle. Okay. And then once you get all the way around, you should be able to just break it apart. Yep. And then you want to stick the knife into that seed. Okay. And then twist it, and it should come right out of there. Set that off to the side. And then the last thing you need here is a spoon. And so this is a nice looking avocado, no brown on it or anything. Probably could have gone another like day or so before I used it, but that'll be a good one. Take the spoon and just pull it right out of the peel there. Perfect. Same thing on the other side. Make sure you don't get any of the peel in there. Boom. And then the pit and that outside peel. Where are we? There we go. You can just throw those away. And then you can cut these up however you want to. I'm just going to put them in some nice slices here to throw on the sandwich. I'll probably take like half of this and throw it on the sandwich, and then the other half and throw it on the potatoes. So I've got one there. Make sure you can see me. Boom. 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 And boom. All right, so avocados are something I didn't really eat for a lot of my life. I've started to the last couple of years, and they're delicious. They're a really good superfood with a lot of different health benefits too. So it's something you should try to have maybe 1-2 times a week. All right, so I've got a nice big sandwich right here. I'm gonna go ahead and take my knife, cut this in half. And let's see how it looks. Looking pretty incredible if you ask me. All right, guys, now it's time for the taste test. Let's see how we did. All right, so this is a meal that I haven't made in a few months. I used to make this quite a bit, all right, but it's been a while, so let's see how it turned out. First, I'm gonna try the potatoes. Got a nice bite here. That's really good. One thing I would probably change, I added the spinach pretty early on. If I could go back again, I would wait like 5 more minutes before throwing that spinach into the potatoes. The spinach did get like a little bit wilted, a little bit, I would say burnt. Some people like it that way. My friend Trav really likes his spinach that way. But if I could do it again, I probably would give it a little more time before I threw it in. Let's see how that sandwich is. Potatoes are excellent though. All right, got a nice bite here. That's really nice. Now, some people would think this is weird because I've got like the cinnamon raisin bagel. It's kind of sweet, and I've got savory stuff inside. Honestly, I like that little flavor contrast, so that's something you guys can feel free to try. But thank you guys if you watched all the way till the end. Thank you for the support. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Help the channel grow as much as possible. It's really nice to be making videos for you guys. I'm not teaching anymore, so it's nice to be doing something that's hopefully educational and can help somebody out there learn something, how to cook a great meal, all right? So stay happy, stay healthy, and until next time.